Okay, hello and welcome to okay, to Saturday and to Splatoon Splatfest. Okay. So, as that is Big Man's Blockbuster. Boy. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Wrong buttons. There you go. Oh, my hair's stuck. Okay. Okay. Here we go. That's sweet. Come on. Oh. Oh, that was friendly. It came from behind. So. Hello? Well, whoever it is obviously isn't important.
Hello?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I was just transferring the Discord to the PS5.
Well, PS5 is kind of not helpful.
Yeah, but to be fair, I just probably asked to get my other headphones out, so the only way to sort of use the headphones that I've got out in my room is to connect with the PS5 anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I just saw on CS Toys, by the way?
Mm.
They have got, just give me a second, open up pre-owned toys. Fies CSM.
Yeah.
And they're selling it for like 374 quid.
Yeah, well, I mean, considering obviously A, CSMs are expensive to start with,
Yeah.
and B, that was a big set.
Yeah. I mean, this one.
Because when I'll just say, yeah, when they first did the version, well, what was it? Yeah, basically, the version 1 FI's CSM, all you got was the main, belt bit itself. And then you could buy all the other bits separately.
Yeah.
Which also you could also get the actual case, for it.
Yeah.
They did do a bundle like when they released the final bits. The case was available fairly early, but like a full bundle of everything. Obviously, the only bit for Fies that has not been done is the bit for Blaster. Which, well, I guess makes sense. It's not part of the standard gear.
Yeah.
I think I'm just thinking. I think the only CSM, at least off the top of my head, final form thing that's been released is Kiwami. Even though they did like a full deck set for the Ryuki CSM, they didn't do the drag visor. No, not drag visor, the drag riser, sorry, the visor is the normal thing.
I mean, they did the DM complete selection modification.
Oh, they did the actual thing?
Yeah, they did the gun, gave you all the cards, gave you the holder, they gave you the belt.
Yeah, but obviously the main thing is the terminal.
Which bit was the terminal?
The bit he would attach to his belt for doing a D-end complete.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because I don't believe they'd also... Because otherwise it would exist for Decade as well. They just did the Neo versions of both of them in CSM, as well as doing DX versions.
I didn't realise there was a DM's complete.
It was in a D-end Deno movie. It's like Dark Riders that he uses for it. Yeah, G4, Ryuga, Auga, Glaive, Kabuki, Caucasus, Arca. Well, then Skull is in there for some reason, even though Skull isn't really a Dark Rider. I guess it is also like movie themed as well. So I guess that's more the case, like Dark Riders from the movies, and then they just needed to add another rider, so it was, well, we need it to be from a different series, so we might as well choose Skull.
Why did they choose Dark Riders?
Well, I guess because, well, like I said, I guess it's also kind of because obviously D-End was kind of not really with them sort of thing.
Yeah, true. Yeah, anyway, the Fies gear that they've got on sale comes with the timer wrist thing. I can't remember what that's called though. It comes with the Well, it comes with the Fies driver, the Fies phone, the Fies pointer, straps for the Fies pointer leg holder, Fies pointer belt holder, Fies shot belt holder, and the mission memory.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because I know the whole bits that were in there. Because I saw like the picture on the YouTube bit.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you expect to get the phone with the base part, the driver, because
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, it's very tempting to perhaps try and pick this up if it's still in stock when I get paid.
well, I think isn't it a kind of just being like ready for? Is it not? Is it actually available to buy right now? Because I thought it was like in the advert, their listings for what goes active, Sunday morning.
No, this stuff is it was already on when I looked.
Okay, because obviously it was in the weekly video that went up this week. So so that's also making me really think like.
The video came up today, I think. So yeah, there was a new weekly thing, and the stuff from the one that just dropped 14 hours ago is also already up on here.
Yeah, the 14-hour one is like the live video of like what's arrived.
Yeah, like the Kamen Rider Kabuto DX Dark Kabuto Zector. Twice the price, basically, of what I paid for.
Yeah, Dark Kabuto was very limited availability. It was kind of in the days before Premium Bandai, but you could only like buy it at like very select stores.
Yeah. And then there's also they also put up the Ninpush Sentai Hurricanja DX Senfujin Black version.
Yeah, because well, even though that one, as far as I know, never has actually appeared, it's one of those things of, well, people like the black and gold color schemes, and they've been doing them for years.
I can't tell if like the bronze look is due to aging or if that was actually intentional.
Well, like I said, given the original would have been like in the whole black gold theming, I think it's just maybe aging of the colors.
Yeah, because it's like the whole of the dolphin kind of looks a bit, brown.
So yeah, I think that's just
be grey. But that actually sold out already.
yeah.
Even though it was put up just like what this weekend.
Yeah.
They do also have another thing on the pre-owned toys that I am actually kind of interested in.
Mm-hmm.
These.
Oh, they got their hands on a Demon's driver.
Yeah, they got a Demon's driver here.
Oh, how much?
156.
Oh, I mean, obviously it was going to go up from its original price.
Well, it's currently on sale. They were previously putting it up for 223.
Yeah, no, but like its original like pricing was equivalent of like 120 quid.
Yeah.
And that's before third party add-ons.
Yeah.
Because again, Premium Bandai, but then that driver is one of those ones where like they put so much work on that thing. That thing is kind of understandable why it had to be Premium Bandai, because it was vastly more than they'd ever do in a store.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that, I mean, unless you plan on potentially getting the Demon's driver now that I've mentioned it.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'd wanted to get it, I just couldn't at the time.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, so let me know, I guess, if you're planning on getting that.
Yeah, because like, the weird thing was, like, because obviously, the Veil driver / the Stream driver set, they released for the exact same price, and yet you got more in the set. Because obviously you got 2 stamps, the components to switch the driver, and it even came with holders as well. So like they did so much more for the exact same cost, and it sort of is. Well, I mean, if you're buying, off the Premium Bandai store and both were there, like Veil slash the stream would just be the better deal because you get more.
Yeah. I mean, the most expensive things that they currently have on pre-owned toys, buys complete selection modification.
Makes sense. Like I say, CSM's always going to rack a cost.
Yeah, that's followed up by Kyoryuja DX Kyoryujin Dark version.
Yeah. So you're getting the black gold version.
Yep. B Fighter B Commander Complete Edition.
Oh, Metal Heroes. Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
Or Beetleborgs, as we would know with B Fighter.
Yeah. That is the Beetleborgs changer, or whatever it was called in Beetleborgs, I can't remember.
I don't remember. It's too many years ago since I've seen on that. Boom Studios, get the license and you can probably do something funny with that and integrate it with your shared PR continuity thing that also has turtles in it.
Then there is...
And somehow, because of interdimensional stuff, you've also got the Justice League.
I am kind of surprised that the Neo Decade driver wasn't a complete selection modification. Because it kind of feels like that would have been one that they probably should have done as a complete selection modification.
I believe they also did do a CSM Neo version. But obviously they did Premium Bandai, just the standard Neo, well the DX Neo, when Decade first started showing up. And then obviously towards the end they did the DN driver as well.
Then after the B Fighter changer, it is the Kamen Rider Decade Complete Selection Modification Ride Booker.
Oh yeah, I've had them. Yeah, are you going to be joining or not?
Maybe.
Yeah. So I've just been sitting with a little lobby room waiting.
Oh right.
Because of the terrible way that the multiplayer system, does it all.
Yeah.
Just inking a room.
Right. Okay. Alright.
Yeah.
So Susie not joining?
I don't know.
Either?
I haven't heard a peep out of her.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Since when?
Since last night.
Oh.
And all that was to say that Brian was going to start playing Elden Ring.
Oh yeah, she told me that as well.
Yeah. Whereas I was still watching through international versions of Taskmaster. I have finished the Australian and New Zealand, all the aired episodes of the Australian one because that's still active on its series, but I finished New Zealand. And oh boy, I'll just say the assistant for the New Zealand version in season 3 got abused really, really heavily. And also one of the contestants just was constantly threatening harm on them. Because they were getting really fed up with all the information is on the task.
Where did it put that Switch controller?
Yeah, I wouldn't know where you put your controller.
Yeah, my room is a mess. My brother's back, I can't just dump my stuff in his room. I don't know either where that controller, so I just have to probably use thing is that I found it the other day, and I've lost it again.
Yeah, that's kind of a sign you should be more...
I say that, and it's right on top of my computer.
So, hidden in plain sight.
Pretty much. Just give me a moment. I'll just list off like interesting bits that they've got available as well. Also, just trying to sort out this. Neo Decay Driver, Demon's Driver, Dark Covetous Vector, 35 set red set Memorial Go Kaiser keys. Lupin Ranger vs Pata Ranger DX Good Cool Kaiser set. Denji Sentai Mega Ranger Kaiser Mega Real Edition. Kamen Rider Blade DX Billy Angle Buckle boxed. Yeah, I mean that one's £109 now.
Well, not surprising. A, it's a long out of production thing, and B, if it's still boxed. Even if it's not new, like just having the box usually adds value.
Yeah. Kamen Rider Build DX Last Pandora panel white and black with black lost ball bottles.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because they did like that. Because obviously you had the different colours of the panels in the show. Even though, like when you always saw in the flashbacks, they were all grey, and then all of a sudden it was red, blue, yellow versions.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, they never explained why the Pandora panels changed colour.
Yeah. What else? Kamen Rider Blade DX Glaive Rouser Toys R Us exclusive.
Well, there's a blast from the past.
That's actually the black, red and gold version of the Blade Rouser.
I did not even know it had a recolour.
Yeah, apparently they did, and the cards in it were Blade, Lance, Lark, Rouser, Clover, Heart, Fear, Spade, Ace, Change, Mighty, and then the chained up card.
That would be Joker.
This one might actually be the one that those three used in the movie. Did they use the sort of recolor of the sword?
I cannot remember what they had for their weapons.
Well, I can see that there's a character holding this sword in one of the cards. I just don't recognise the design. Is it Glaive? Kamen Rider Glaive? Glaive.
Oh, Glaive, yeah, that should be the
Rouser, yeah.
movie one, yeah, because obviously, that's in the, as I say, yeah, the end complete.
Yeah, Glaive. This is actually the coloured version of the Glaive.
And yeah, as obviously, yeah, back then, as I say, premium Bandai was not a thing, so it would have been done as store exclusives.
Yeah. Extreme Memory. Neo DN Driver. Kamen Rider Blaze DX Rouse Absorber set. So
They're the ARM
upgrade.
unit.
The ARM unit, yeah. Oma Geo Driver. The Halkin Cross Saber.
I mean, the only problem with the OMA driver is purely it can't really do anything.
Yeah. It's just a premium Bandai.
Yeah, but even then, like, it's just like literally, it literally just does like maybe like is it 2 or 3 sounds and that's it.
Yeah. See the Halkin Cross Saber. You know what that one is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause that was a hard item to find.
Yeah. I mean, they introduced that very late in the series. So, like, yeah, it would have been while they would want the toy line to sort of start, winding down on sales, ready for what was coming next.
Yeah. You know our Die-Dye DJ gun and DX Luso Saber and Melon Lockseed set?
Well, I have those.
Kamen Rider 5's DX 5 Blaster.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I know from people having tried it in reviews, the phone that comes with the complete selection does not fit in the blaster. So if you did go for the Fies set,
don't get the blaster.
The blaster is basically, the blaster won't work with it. Because obviously, remember, with CSM, they are done to like 1-to-1 scale pretty much with how they are in the show, and obviously, the DX ones are smaller.
Is this really how the Halken's Cross Saber works? That's kind of lame. I'm just looking at the Halken Cross Saber.
Yeah.
And you know those sort of little things that you have when you're a kid, and it's like a picture, but it's covered in red lines and dots. But when you brought a little bit of red plastic over it, you could see through the red lines.
Oh, vaguely.
Yeah, that's what they've got on the sword. The bit in the middle of the sword that you move up and down is a red bit of plastic, and as you move it to the different sections, that's when you can see the symbols of all the other riders. That's a bit crap, isn't it?
Plus, then you need the main driver as well.
Yeah. Well, they also have the main driver available, including with Espada's emblem and ride book. They also have the Anko Kuken Kurayami and Jaken Caliber Driver and Jow Dragon Wonder Ride book set.
Mouthful.
So basically everything for
Caliber.
Yeah, Caliber. Yeah. They've got the DX Great Cross Dragon. That's the
the completely pointless retool.
Yep.
Well, no, retool is when you actually alter some parts, just repaint.
Yeah. They've also got DX versions of all the other bits of Fies gear, like the Fies pointer, the Fies shot, the Fies axle.
So they're just basically doing a big Fies dump.
Yeah, there's a big Fies dump. Yeah, I'm sort of getting down to sort of like the less relevant stuff, but even like the cheaper stuff, you know, you're still seeing like Rampage Gatling. I mean, that's a really good per price key for that one. And even the DX Ames Shot Rider is here too at £47. Granted, postage is postage and still a bitch. They do have the DX Metal Shaft. For double.
Yeah.
As well as the metal Gaia memory. That's cool. Kamen Rider Blades DX Wild Slasher. Which, I mean, I do have them, but the ones I have, I think the sounds are very naff. Because I think the speakers kind of worn down a lot. So, I could technically pick that up and sort of replace the ones I've currently got. Or I could just not bother. They also have, they also have a Gashake Dual here, which is kind of annoying because like they're selling it for £44, but when I got mine, because of how hard to get it was basically 3 times that.
Well, don't forget, obviously, they have one advantage in Japan. Well, they're in Japan, where most of them are. So it's easy. Well, it's somewhat easier to get, those sort of things into the second-hand market than it is over here.
Yeah, true. But no, I mean it's still CS toys, but I got the when I got it, they were selling it for 3 times the price of what they're selling it now.
But yeah, but when you got it was probably brand new and whatnot anyway.
Yeah, it was brand new.
And well, does it say if this one has the box or not?
No.
So
my one didn't come with the box either. To be honest. It was also pre-owned.
Yeah, well, also I'd say Japan does seem to have some sort of like second-hand like laws and regulations. Because I have seen, obviously, with CS Toys, them posting up, like having had their second-hand like license renewed. So I don't quite know where that comes in. Maybe whether it's just being able to sell outright, or maybe their ability to, actually, do pricing.
Yeah.
Actual like, sort of like grading for pricing and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, it's never been. I've never sort of looked into it, and they've never. Obviously, the guys never sort of explained what it is, but just that they have to have it. So.
Other interesting bits. I mean, it seems like most of like the core belts that they sell, they try to do about 38. I mean, that's what they've got for 01. Gamer Driver, GPU Driver, Metal Junrai, Force Riser.
Yeah.
They do also have Decade K-Touch 21, so it's missing the Common Ride cards. The Kamen Rider Falls DX Barizon Sword and DX Cosmic Switch set.
I had the entire Force stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Remember these? Kamen Rider Saber DX Draconic Booster and King Lion Booster.
Yeah.
I completely forget about those existing because they were just so forgettable.
Yeah, well, they basically only made use of those things like twice.
Yeah. It was wrong. They do have another Legend Series Kabuto Zector on here for £35. They also have another DX Mighty Brothers Double X Gacha here, 35.
Yeah. You coming in or not? Yeah, I would say you're going to want Team Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, yeah, I'm not quite sure from those. Yeah, I'll have to check which ones they are when I get on. I'll just finish off just going through some things really quick. Lupin vs. Path Ranger versus Changer. They've got the Ryu Teo set from Q Ranger. They have the Lockseed and faceplate for Matsubokuri. I can't remember how you say his name, what else? They have the Perfect Zector. There was something else on here that was actually quite interesting. It was like £28, I think. I saw it last night. Oh yeah, they've got a full bottle buster build. Where is it? They're selling all 3 of the attached weapons from 01 for £25.
Each or as a set?
As a set of 3. As a set of 3, £25 for all 3 of those attached weapons.
Well, I guess, yeah, I mean, it was supposedly they just didn't really sell anyway in the first place.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, literally, like, what role did they really serve?
I mean,
The only one that was ever really used was the arrow.
Arrow was used a lot by what's his name?
Well, Hirobi.
Hiromi. Hirobi.
Hirobi, because like that becomes like his sort of weapon.
Demons. Hiromi is demons.
No, I said Hirobi to start with.
I thought you said Hiromi.
No.
But I mean, also the attached weapon 1, the sword that 01 uses.
That got dropped very quickly.
Not really, because it was also because it was used with the swords that came with a cluster hopper to create a double sword.
Though I vaguely remember it being used like that, but like most of the time, that the sword for metal cluster was used by itself. The only other time the sword was really relevant was for the final battle.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
The cannon was basically used like the least.
Yeah.
But then the problem was the cannon was for Vulcan, and it was just like he already has a gun.
Yeah. Speaking of the sword, the Progrise Hopper Blade, they've also got that. Where is it? The Wizard Ring excluding... Wizard Driver excluding the rings. DX Shiny Pyramid Changer here. Legend Series Belt, Henshin Belt Arkle. That's Cougar. Cougar Belt for £22. Where was it? There it is. Found it. Uchu Sentai Q-Ranger DX Phaser Blaster for £22. And they also have here the Hollow Blade and Shield DX set, as well as the Q-Tama for £22.
I have spent more time just sitting here waiting than I have actually played.
I need to
Boink. Boink.
controllers. God. Okay, let me just turn that off. Turn that back on. Grab some gameplay. Animal Crossing. Rainbow Chronicles 3, which I've barely touched, which I should probably touch again. What's this one? Second Swords, Smash Brothers Ultimate. Rainbow Chronicles 2. Monster Hunter Rise. Splatoon 3. There it is. How do I open you again?
How do you open
There we
what?
go. The game cartridge.
The little hatch on the back of your, on the top of your Switch.
No, as in how did I open it, because it's a bit fiddly. I need nails, which I don't have at the moment. I did have them, but I didn't want. Oh yeah. Speaking of the game that I just pulled out of my Switch, Scarlet and Violet are out now.
Yeah, I know. I saw the bits. I just haven't been in a position to buy any of it. So.
Yeah. So do you think you're going to do a box opening tomorrow or not?
I don't know. I was kind of zonked most of today, so.
Yeah, I had a feeling. That's why I didn't sort of message and ask about it. Yeah. Well, it seems of it. Each pack now for Pokemon comes with 2 reverse holo cards.
Yeah, because I know. I remember the whole thing being announced that they were upping the number of shinies a pack to 3.
Yeah.
And then we were just changing the look of the cards to match the Japanese.
Yeah, so it's now silver border.
Yeah, because that's how the Japanese cards have been for years.
Yeah. So you get 2 reverse foils, and then the rares now are all wet foil.
Yeah.
So speaking of this foil, King Gambit, I've just noticed that it's actually slightly miscut. The border on the left is actually bigger than the border, smaller than the border on the right.
Yeah, I mean, I know that the next sets that are due in Japan, because they always release 2 sets at a time, which are smaller than our sets, because our sets are basically 2 Japanese packs combined. But yeah, the next one's coming out in Japan will have the evolutions of the starters.
Oh, so this set doesn't actually have the starters in it?
All I know is because like their cover image for it is the 3 final forms.
Okay.
So if they have put evolutions in there, they're also going to print versions in the next set.
But yeah, so in the interestingly, did I get a cornyard in one of these packs? No, I didn't. That would have been fun if I did.
Well, bear in mind, the Scarlet Violet packs are the first. Well, not well, that. I think it's the new, like retro pack. Is the first time Kadabra's going to have been printed in like nearly 20 years.
Jeez.
Well, it's because there was a whole lawsuit by a famous person who complained Kadabra was basically mock of him. And yeah, they only sort of finally gave up on the lawsuit. Part of the reason of giving up on the lawsuit was actually due to the whole, thing with Sword and Shield, where everyone noted like Obstagoon looked like a particular person, and the person loved it. So rather it being sort of more of a mock of them, it's just like, hey, kind of cool little tribute thing, or just the idea of what they are famous for, sort of exists in this world. So yeah, this year Kadabra will get its first card in a very long time, which has meant Abra and Alakazam have been unplayable. Well, Alakazam has been basically unplayable for years. Apart from obviously since they started doing the very special like V and or whatever, because they've changed those letters over the years. But where the final form can be played as a basic Pokemon to start with. It's the only way Alakazam's been playable.
Right.
Even though they have printed normal versions of Alakazam that require Kadabra for evolution. And yet you couldn't use them.
Yeah, but yeah, so in the 2 packs I got King Gambit as well as Bishop. If I had Cornyard, I could have had the whole set in just 2 packs. Well, yeah, I mean, I got Coridon in 1 pack, King Gambit in the other for my sort of rare foils.
Yeah.
Apparently the rares are always going to be a foil now, which is cool. So I feel like whenever you got like a special pack and it was a hollow, it kind of felt like kind of a kick in the nuts, really.
Hey, I remember I had the whole case of opening a pack and there was no hollows in it whatsoever. Which felt that's the kick in the teeth. Is a case of, well, this was a fully sealed pack and yet there's no shiny in this thing whatsoever.
Interestingly, Wug Trio is an uncommon. I'm surprised that they didn't make Wug Trio a rare because of it being, a classic Pokemon being, evolved into a new form, essentially, or, like a variant of sorts. I actually got both Wiggler and Wug Trio.
Yeah.
I should put this. I don't even know which team is.
As I say, you want Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
There's a train here that takes you to Splatsville, right?
Yeah, because that's the first DLC.
I don't have it.
You know, it's in. I haven't bought the DLC either. They just put the location to do the transition in to just the game as a whole. I guess it keeps it simple because obviously it just keeps everyone's games in sync on that front. So, I mean, the first DLC is really, really boring. It is literally just being able to go back to the location from the first two games. So, yeah, the second DLC is going to be the more important one. So are you in the actual lobby room?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, open up the match menu.
I just have a sensitivity of turning, because I hate the sensitivity, but it's yeah, that feels a bit more responsive, a bit better for a fast-paced game like Splatoon. One thing that I struggle with is turning, because I don't like really turning my controller left and right that much.
Yeah.
Up and down it's sort of alright, but I'd rather use the stick to turn and then control up and down sort of thing, which is the only way of doing that. Bobby Terminal. Get stuff. What was it that I needed to do?
So open up the match menu.
Yeah.
Then you want to press right on your D-pad to have it change to with friends. There we go. And then ready up when you're ready. Boy. Okay. Oh boy.
What the hell is this map?
I can remember the name of it, but it was the location of the very first Splatfest tricolour. Or the second one, I can't remember which way round it was. It was either the one for the test one, or the one that happened just after launch. So whichever way you want to count the first one as well.
How long does Splatfest last again?
Until tomorrow, well, the end of tomorrow. Because that'll also be when they do the tricolour. Because tricolour's only active for the second half.
Why was I not doing anything?
Why was what not doing anything?
My else now? I thought I was sucking up. It's probably...
It needs ink to be fired at you.
paint, the only ink that there was like...
I got pinned up by the Booyah Bomb. And we've had a player go by the... Yeah, we're a player down.
Oh, so they're not actually enforcing the game overs.
They do. I think it's only it only is if it's like before a certain time point. So I guess the person disconnected after the cutoff, which kind of sucks. So that was still within the first. Well, yeah, 'cause it's 3-4 minute round. So I guess yeah, it's like within the first minute. So I guess yeah, enough time after the. Well, this is just a loss because.
Yeah, I haven't played this in a while.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not what's causing us the problems. Because, well, what can we do when it's 4 on 3? And 3 of them have got freaking arrow sprays. Well, I got 2 of them at the very end, but... yeah, when you're a player down, it sucks so much.
How long does Splatfest last for?
Just a weekend.
Just a weekend. Isn't Martin at this game as well?
Nope. Otherwise, he would be here.
I didn't realise the new season had started on Soccer.
No, obviously I haven't, because I haven't really logged on.
Me either.
Hadn't really got around to it with the way I've been. And I'm still... Oh, heck, someone's up here. What's up to us already?
Yep, no doubt about it. That's fine.
But yeah, I mean, I'm still a bit messed up, so... Well, fortunately, I've got to wait just over a week before, well, stuff in regards to that can be done. Because I was meant to go for a blood test on Monday, but I got a phone call yesterday, which was the nurse who needs to be there to do it isn't going to be on Monday now. So I've got to wait until next Wednesday. Oh, jeez. So yeah, that's fun. I've got to wait for that maybe a bit longer. Because obviously whatever's causing me to have, like, you know, my severe lack of energy and whatnot, that's what needs to be worked out. Because it's also kept me from sleeping pretty much for basically a month, which is most of the time since I've come out of, since I came out of that hospital visit. So yeah, you can see that's also a little bit concerning that that's going on. Ah, the freaking. I hate the fact that the Booyah Bomb like distracts you from being able to use the control stick. Because I was trying to support whoever was calling it, and it meant I got attacked and I wasn't. My fingers were not. Well, my thumb wasn't near the stick to do it. Respond. Then. Oh.
Oh no, we got it.
Wow. It definitely looked more like it was theirs.
And wasn't this match like 8 times as well?
I can't remember. If it said it at the beginning, then. But then that's team score, not you know, for like the Splatfest team.
Yeah. My catalogue level is 2.
Yeah, because we're on a new catalogue season.
Oh. Right. Now for those. But doesn't that affect basically what guns you can afford to get?
No. That's just your normal level that does that.
Oh, so...
Catalogue level is just like the decorations you can buy for your locker.
Oh. Alright.
And then you can also buy like some name tags. Like it's just basically your out of battle customization options, pretty much.
This thing runs out of ink pretty quickly.
I mean,
Yeah.
my thing will burn through ink pretty fast as well. I get a lot of shots out of it, but I have to charge it to use. So,
I'm not sure what my gadget does either, to be honest.
well, what does it look like when you use it?
Like a radar beacon.
Oh, yeah, that's a super jump beacon. I just don't bother with super jumping because it just means you can, you know, leap to a teammate. But then you have to, like, it used to be viable on the Wii U because you just tapped the gamepad and you'd do it. But obviously here you've got to press a button to bring up a menu, well, bring up the map, and then you've got to tap, and because it's just taking you out of combat for so long. Ah, behind.
There's great doing its
Uh.
job. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but I'm really not keen on this game's controls. It's just so awkward.
Which bit?
Just the aiming.
I mean, you can turn motion controls off.
Yeah, but then it becomes really like it's, you turn it off and it still doesn't feel right. I don't know, it's just funky.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's also because we're being used to, say, the more reactive need that, say, games like Siege use.
Yeah.
Whereas this is obviously a much more casual game. Technically.
Meaning it's definitely still competitive.
Yeah, but I mean, technically, it's,
I need to go grab my food, so I'll just be right back.
Mm-hmm. Oops, picking up things. I also just kind of wish we had more than 2 maps active at a time.
This game just feels like more competitive than Siege.
Yeah, ironically, this mode is not used for any competitive functions.
The problem is, I think, is that, I mean, to be honest, I get confused with, all the different weapons. There's so many weapons. But they all look the same.
Well, I mean, really, what it is more your secondary stuff that changes.
Because even like the way that a gun can control is different. Like, one set of dual pistols might be fast firing, and then another set might be slow firing.
Oh right, sorry. I thought you meant like I was speaking more of like when you have like the redos of the same weapon itself.
Yeah, no, it is the same. It's a redo of the same weapon, but
No, because like the Dapper Dualies and the other the Splat Dualies are 2 completely separate weapons that are in the same weapon category. Where So you have weapon categories, then obviously you have the individual weapons in there, and it's those individual weapons that get like retools.
I know, I just wish the game would be... I wish the controls were a bit more easy with aiming.
Well, isn't that what adjusting sensitivity is?
Not really. And, like, I wish that a lot of other bits just weren't as confusing. Maybe what Splatoon needs is like a hero shooter, kind of like Overwatch, which I know isn't like a good example, but you know, where there's set characters with set weapons.
The thing is, though, like that would be a complete.
Like everyone be on the team as using something like an aerospace, for example.
I mean, that would be a very drastic shift.
Make it a spin-off game. I feel like that would work for Splatoon. It's already kind of like a hero shooter already. It just, problem is, it just doesn't have the hero aspect. But it's still got also like the, you know, the dominance control aspect.
I mean, if Nintendo did a hero shooter, it would be a new IP.
Maybe. Or they'd make it Super Smash Brothers. The Super Shot Brothers.
I mean, you know who would be the ultimate character, though, right off the bat. Because, like, how do you, like, rein in someone who is a walking, world-ending tank of a woman? Ah. Damn it, I'm freaking a roller.
Sometimes some weapons just seem so
Oh,
unfair,
geez, tenter missiles. Yeah.
Sometimes weapons seem so unfair, but then when you use them, you suck at using them.
I know. It's like I guess I know the aerospray. The aerospray's been in since the first game, and it is basically one of the best weapons that exist.
I don't know why they just don't remove it.
I mean, no actual weapon has been removed from the games. Like, by the time they finish all the updates. So every weapon from Splatoon 1 returned. Just, they pretty much had their secondary and specials changed. Because a couple of the secondary and specials did not return. So expect by the time they're done with this game that every single thing will be back. Plus, obviously, then we have 2 new weapon types as well.
No, it seems like they've completely abandoned the sort of ice bowling thing.
Yeah, the curling bomb, which is funny because it is in the single player.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that did happen, although it didn't happen in the first Splatoon, Splatoon 2 did add an extra special and sub-weapon as the updates went on. So it's always possible that the curling bomb does make a return in a later bit as, you know, as they add more, you know, options.
Bloody hell. What's all that?
Ink strikes. Because they did. That was one of the specials that was in the first game that sat out the second game. Though they brought it back in a very differently retooled form. Because in the first game it was you'd.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, someone I think's got like special charge up. Oh, I think they got 2. Oh, they've got 2 splatter shots. That'll be why they have 2 people with it.
Oh god.
Yeah, but yeah, in the first game, ink strikes were like when you used it, you just tapped on the gamepad, and it would do the ink strike there. Now they had a bigger explosion radius in the first game. Here, because you don't have the luxury of the gamepad, you throw 3 like little beacons that the ink strike homes in on. So the range isn't as great on the new version, but you get, and the explosion range is smaller, but you get a, you know, you get.
Splatoon was designed for the game for the Wii U in mind, really.
Yeah, it was.
Without that second screen, it's kind of made it a lot harder.
Yeah, like that is the one thing. It really was a showcase of what the Wii U was. And what the Wii U was capable of, to some degree. At least, you know, for maximising both screens. There were a few other games that... Well, there's a curling bomb!
Well, I meant more the ultimate.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, that could always return in later.
Like,
Curling bomb launcher. Well, I mean, like, the regular bomb launcher isn't around at the minute, so... I think it is a... Hmm.
It's got 666 clout.
Yeah. Come on, there's 2 maps in circulation. Give us the other one. That's
So it
the.
looks like someone's got the sniper.
Yeah. Yeah, the. What's it saying? So I was saying, like, it's kind of awkward. Like they restrict it to being 2 maps active at once, but then it just all, you know, it's meant to be random which one you play on, but the game always seems to end up favouring one over the other.
What's the game you plan on doing tomorrow?
I thought it was going to be on GT.
Yes.
Obviously, how I'm feeling depending.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, the Booyah Bomb just was a... The Booyah Bomb just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have the Booyah Bomb, it's just, like I said, because it distracts you off your left control stick, it's just so much of a hassle. Because the Booyah Bomb is a teamwork weapon. So it gets stronger, like for the more team members who supply energy for it.
I feel like I only get like 5 shots before I have to reload.
Yeah, the Brellas are very low, like, are very ink hungry.
The thing is, I like the shield that it comes with. Basically gives me a bit of cover whilst I still shoot.
Like I get 5 full charges before I have to reload. There we go.
program I put in.
I thought it turned out Susie was playing, but because I got splatted by someone we've called Sue Lee. Yeah.
I'm gonna grab my thing real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh. And because of how stupid the game is, I can't cancel matchmaking. Again, such a basic feature that they just don't implement. Yeah, I just like that's probably the most the ability to quit matchmaking is just such a. I've said this many times before. It's just such a basic feature. It just doesn't make sense why that is not implemented of all things. Especially like when you've been in a group and one of your teammates ends up being dropped. Like in that bit while you're waiting, it's then a case of, well, sucks to be the rest of the friends who are going to be forced to continue playing without the other person. Oh, well, at least it gives you a chance to eat.
I just finished it.
You know what I meant, though.
Yeah.
And at least, like with Splatoon, rounds are at least short. Oh yeah, have you read the ESA's response to having to cancel the E3?
No.
Well, they're basically blaming all the developers for it. Because, you know, blaming the developers for not having games ready to show. Yeah, it's totally not because the format of the E3 just doesn't work nowadays. Yeah, maybe you guys need...
guess if you don't do the box opening tomorrow, you'd probably delay it to next week. wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it could be Saturday though next week. Because Saturday is my birthday. And I'm probably going to be at home on Thursday. Sunday probably would be fine. I would suspect. Unless, no wait, that's Easter. Yeah, next week it really doesn't work at all. Well, it doesn't work for me. I guess it doesn't mean that I can't still do the boxing.
Sorry, I couldn't catch you over your voice going there.
I was saying that the next weekend probably really doesn't work for me, because Saturday is my birthday and then Sunday is Easter Sunday. I don't know. And I think we'll probably be going up to my grandma's on Sunday. So, yeah, that kind of makes it so that I wouldn't be able to turn up if you were to move it to next weekend. Doesn't mean you still can't do a box.
I know. Like I say, just how depending on how I feel.
Yeah.
Right, I've set up a room ready.
What?
I've set a room ready.
Alright. I don't know why they made the umbrellas so intensive.
I mean, they were rebalanced a lot in Splatoon 2 from when they first launched.
What? The one I'm using.
I don't know if... I mean, you're using the one that has like the biggest shield space, so...
Yeah.
You can see why that one's going to be the most ink intensive.
True.
And like I say, they really tweaked with how much ink they are from throughout the second game, because yeah, even though the aerospray is like the best weapon, for like there was a brief period where umbrellas were starting to become the meta, just because you could spam their shields. Because people would just open them long enough so the shield doesn't deploy, but it kept them safe from harm, and they could just spam enough shots to take on anyone who didn't have umbrella. So yeah, over time the cooldown on the umbrella part itself was increased, and ink consumption was increased, with it being drastically overhauled for 3, because there's only so much they were able to change in 2.
I just like this weapon from the whatchamacallit mode.
The campaign.
Down and run.
Oh yeah.
I haven't done the campaign at all yet on 3. So many games I need to do the campaign for. Having a job kind of means I can't do them all. I mean, I've still got to do Ragnarok. I've got Horizon Forbidden West.
And considering the DLC comes out in 13 days' time.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of VR games.
I mean, at least the one thing with Splatoon's campaign is, you know, like, you can just, like, do one mission and then stop. Because depending on how quick you catch on to what you need to do in that map, you can be done in, like, 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, but then Platoon, it's also just the controls again. Sorry, a game I want to take on the go and play.
I'm not saying that you're necessarily doing it on the go. I just mean if you have like 5 minutes sitting around doing nothing really at home.
True. Sometimes I just want to lie down on my bed after a long day of work. Just coming on. Let's watch.
Yeah, but I mean, it was more just me pointing. It's just not just saying like, hey, it's not like it's as much of a commitment to start playing as a lot of other campaigns.
Yeah. I think it's just really a case of
Because some games playing the campaign is a huge commitment.
I think it's more just a case at the moment that I just can't bother to do the campaigns, if you agree.
I do admit it's like 2 gave you a reward for completing the stuff. And oh boy, was one of the rewards a bit kind of crazy. You could get because in 2 you could play the missions with all the different weapon categories, and if you beat every mission with that particular weapon, you could unlock it for multiplayer. So now imagine going through the campaign 8 times, and like they did do the clever thing that the levels would adjust to the weapon you're using. Like during first playthrough, like some levels were fixed with which weapon you'd use, but then after you beat it, you can then go back with any unlocked weapon. But yeah, some levels, even with the adjustments, clearly were not designed for certain weapons to be used that well.
I'm going to use your favourite gear.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Something. It decreases the amount of ink my main weapon consumes.
Yeah. Ink saver is. Bear in mind, like for like real effects, like you do have to stack the abilities.
It lasts so much longer now.
Yeah. I mean, it just shows with it. Because like most of the time anyway, you have to like stack 2 or 3, like well usually like 3 to get like the best out of the ability, because it's also diminishing returns.
Yeah.
So the second like ink saver you'd put on won't give you as much of a boost as the first one, and then the third one you put on will be even less of a boost. And yeah, usually after you put 3 on, it kind of isn't worth it. Some of them, 4, you can get away with, but yeah.
It looks like aliens are winning at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Who picked Bigfoot unless you're picking literally just for Big Man?
Yeah. I mean, I would have gone Loch Ness Monster otherwise.
It was what, Alien, Bigfoot and what?
And Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, right.
I wouldn't be surprised if Loch Ness Monster has the lowest player count. Because I don't think I've seen a Loch Ness Monster team.
It's literally just an alien.
Well, obviously, because it's not going to put us against our own team, really, so...
Well, yeah.
One of the reasons why they shifted to 3 teams, because there was the whole player number imbalance that meant there were plenty of times where the same team would end up playing itself because there just wasn't enough of another team to play against. But Yeah, I think it really is a sign of just no one wanted Loch Ness. Which I'd say kind of feel sorry for that team. But sometimes the team with the less players can win just because, yeah, if they have a higher quality of players on that team. So... How did you get through my radar I shoved in that choke point? Every time I get my special, I'm just splatted instantly.
I'm not coughing this much when I go back to work. This is more, I'm coughing more than I was when I was speaking to guests, like, 9 hours a day or whatever. I can't remember how long. That's how... What's all this? Makes squid rolls, squid surges easier to right, well, that's kind of all useless, isn't it? Just that. This one allows for increased mobility through enemy ink, which seems to be a problem I have. I think what it is like I'm trying to aim with the right stick, but my aim keeps getting thrown off by my movements on the controller. Problem is, it's also, but it's easier to aim with motion control up and down than to up and down on this. So it's just a bit of a mess.
I mean, what they really could use implementing is a like axis on and off function for the gyro, so that you can toggle like I only want to use this part of the gyro aim. Because yeah, I admit I like use the up and down more than left to right when it comes to gyro. Oh jeez. Tank in front, the ink strike right behind. That's not a pincer you want to be caught in.
Indeed. I think the thing is, this game is one of those kind of games also where you kind of have to play consistently to be like remember how to sort of play properly. Like, you know, you're about to get attacked, you need to go down and you need to move around and then shoot around by turning quickly. I can't do that. I can't play this game consistently. I'm a Bigfoot defender. I don't know, maybe I just need more impactful stuff than what I've got.
I mean, it is just more a case of find what thing you're comfortable with.
Yeah, if you ever get enough credits to get the stuff that you want.
Well, you need the tickets now to get the weapons.
Tickets, yeah. And that requires leveling up. Which means doing good with the stuff that you kind of get stuck with if you don't like it. I think the problem with this thing is it's slow fire rate.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, my thing, once you get it go... Oh, jeez.
Communication errors.
Yeah. Set up the room again. And the fact that it takes it's such a process to create a room as well. Right, there we go, it's ready. But yeah, as I say, like once my thing starts firing, it's fast, but it's getting to that point that's the problem. So obviously I have to wait for it to charge. And I am very slow once that starts.
Yeah, you shut up finally.
So I have the room ready for when you're...
Alright. How do I get out of this? Oh, wow. Let's go with this. Yeah, like some stuff is locked up by level.
Yeah, but yeah, if like, but obviously, if you note, you can spend multiple tickets to get stuff that's above your level.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, it was. Well, I remember it being brought up like in one of the directs ahead, the direct ahead of launch, that was just a way of letting people actually have the ability to get a weapon that they actually want, without necessarily having to wait that many levels to be able to buy it. I just can't remember what the rules were for earning the tickets to buy weapons. That's the only thing. I think they are just earned if like every now and then when you're playing. Like for doing like if you get like your like thingy rank up. Because you have that weird little rank that you earn as you do the battles. With like how your freshness rating, and I think it's like if you get it up high enough, that's when you earn a ticket. Something like that. Like I said, I don't really remember what the rules were for it.
That's something really seem too bad, I guess.
I prefer using the heavy splatling type. So, yep, I got that, and it was kind of done.
Well, I got 2 of the new weapons. I picked up the Splattershot Pro, and I picked up the whatever it was, Splatomatic.
Okay.
It has the curling bomb and it's got the stamper.
Okay.
See. Please join me. This is the weapon I'm talking about, if you can see me.
Wait. No, there you go. It's kind of hard because the hologram, like, obviously only projects like a 2D image, so trying to move me around to see it is just like really difficult because of the way they do it.
The stamp seems like just a really broken ultimate.
It's not really. You can be killed using it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, it's hard to be killed because of how fast you're moving.
No, I've seen people just be annihilated if someone gets in the side or rear. You can do one other thing with the Ultra Stamp. You can throw it.
I have no idea how you would throw it.
I believe you'd press like I believe it's like you press the button that you'd use to go into squid form, or your secondary. I can't remember. It brings up like as if you were going to throw a grenade. That little like arcing reticule for that. Like I can't remember. Like I said, I can't remember how it works for the Ultra Stamp. I've never actually used it. I just remember it being brought up like as the thing of like, yeah, you can throw it, but it will end your super for throwing it. But it does have a pretty okay size radius, and it basically is unless like the opponent has like bomb defense skills, it's pretty much a guaranteed one shot on hit. And pretty serious damage just for the explosion splat zone afterwards. For anyone who doesn't get a direct hit. So we have a Doctor Who fan in here.
Someone who's a fan of Bad Batch.
Goggles. Problem is, goggles is just a long-term used nickname.
Gosh damn.
But yeah.
I feel more stressed.
I really do not understand this special. That just rains all these things down.
In this game than I do in Siege, because at least I know in Siege that I do well.
Hmm.
No! On my bloody ultimate. It died before I could use it, which means it gets reset back to basically nothing.
Well, there is skills that you can get which like reduce the amount you lose.
I know, but it's still shit.
I know.
It still feels like crap when you're like, oh yes, I finally managed to get all the way to that mountain, and I'm dead.
Yeah, I mean that happens to me a lot. But I can also understand why they don't let you like have full charge when you respawn. Because like just being able to spawn straight into some particular ones is pretty powerful. Oh damn, I didn't see them there.
You'll see probably my hammer line. There it is.
Mm.
It still wasn't enough. Yeah, 1-1 match.
And your gear gives you abilities which are kind of pointless. I have got quite a bit of run speed up and I am a heavy weapon. So I don't exactly get a run speed to start with. Not exactly a practical thing for me. Oh boy. I'm beginning to think the other map doesn't exist. Oh. I mean, I might just call it after this one, because if it wasn't for the fact being dumped on the same map all the time, I'd want to keep going, but it's just like, come on.
Done from the same map, losing every match.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, it wouldn't be so bad if it was the 2 maps that we were losing on, but it's been the 1 map all the damn time, and it's just, again, it's like, we should have at least played the other map once.
I feel 2 people with the stamps, so...
No, that's not possible. Oh, what? That was ugly. Oh boy.
There's just one person standing in the middle.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And then I had 3 of them come at me when I was by myself. I'm not a gun that wants to be left alone.
Inkling. Let's just put himself inkling. Most people in this game seem like they've already basically got all of the abilities they would want. I just get confused by it all.
Yeah, I mean, if you've played a previous game, you kind of know what you want to use, somewhat. Then it's more just finding like which special and sub you want with it when they're available.
I don't know. It's like most shooters, you can kind of work out what you want.
Yeah.
So
Like I say,
like extra effort to work out what you want.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have the weapon I want. It's more of a, like I say, it's a weapon you don't want to be, like, attacked by multiple people when you're by yourself.
Well, it's not just the weapon, but it's also like the, the perks and all your gear. Like, you don't really know which ones you're going to want unless you've played the game a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't have a choice with what I have with this weapon because they haven't done any alternate kits of this thing yet.
No, I mean the perks is into your armor.
Oh, yeah. I like. Problem is as well, like you have to grind to be able to get the optimal setups.
Yeah, it's not really a game I want to grind on. I just kind of want to. If I want to play it, I just want to play it. I don't want to grind.
Yeah, I bet they did make the grind a little bit easier in this game because they gave you the ability to earn the ability chunks from doing the thingy mode. Now, granted, you could also do that in the previous game, but they didn't have Salmon Run available all the time. It was like treated like an event when it was active, which kind of sucked. Like, they advertised Salmon Run as this big, major part of the game, and then it was, yeah, but you can only use it every once in a while. I know when they did the final update for Splatoon 2, they made it so it was active like every other week or something like that. So like they just had it be active more frequently, but it was still a case of, geez, like, why could this not have just been active full time to start with?
Yeah.
So at least they fixed that with this game, and then added the big run mode as like the occasional thing that happens in the in there, and which that actually feels like an event. Compared to, this is just literally horde mode. Whereas, have horde mode, but with like some crazy like special rules thrown in on top, and like increased chance of encountering the big guy. Which, the new update is meant to add a new big boss monster for Salmon Run. So it's meant to get meant to get a bit nastier.
And that game is really hard as it is.
Well, again, it's one. The big problem is like, if you get given a weapon that you really don't sort of get along with, it really screws you.
Yeah, I think that's perhaps part of the problem with Salmon Run is like you're just given a random weapon.
I think what they should have, like, is one of each weapon category available, and it's just like literally you pick in the team which one you want. So you can have it be that each weapon can only be taken once, but at least it lets players be more flexible with their loadout, and then you get a few, you get like 15 to 20 seconds between rounds if you want to change your weapon.
Well, how about this? If you're allowed to, between rounds, spend points that you earn as a team to get a weapon or sort of upgrades that you would want. Like, I know you don't like Call of Duty Zombies, but between rounds, you can run around, buy weapons off the wall. So you've always got a weapon.
Well, remember like the whole Modern Warfare equivalent that they had kind of had a similar thing.
Yeah, and you can buy weapons off. Could you buy weapons before?
It wasn't off walls, but there were like these like drop caches you could spend the points to.
Oh yeah, that was how it worked, wasn't it? Yeah, you could buy the weapon that you wanted, so that you could actually.
Although it was like after a certain number of rounds as well. Well, it's like after every certain number of waves, it unlocked more options in there. Because like you could not get like sentry turrets until like after wave 6 or 7.
No, that wasn't the case. I think it was based on the level of your character, wasn't it?
No, because I was able to use like some pretty good weapons early on. It was based on like progression of the thing.
I thought it was based on the level of.
No, because like I started playing the whole thing at level 1 and I was already. That was muted. Yeah. I can't. Like, it's been too long now anyway.
Yeah, and then Modern Warfare Remastered Survival. Like,
well, bear in mind the one that we did was from 3.
Yeah.
So they haven't exactly got to the one yet to not re-implement.
No, I mean Modern Warfare 1 Remastered, as in like, the remake. I meant the remake.
Yeah.
So the current lot of Modern Warfare.
Yeah, the reboot.
the reboot, yeah, when they did reboot of Modern Warfare 1, like, the survival was terrible.
Yeah, because I know the original Modern Warfare's 1 and 2 did not have that mode in at all. There was something that they added in the third, but I think, but zombies had already been a thing at the time, so I guess it was because they wanted to have the mode type exist in pretty much all the games, but it was a case of, it's not the team that does the zombies doing that game, so let's do something that fits more with this game.
Have enough time between rounds to do anything. I think you got like 5 seconds between rounds, which is not enough. And then also, the enemies kind of felt like they just spawned on top of you almost, as opposed to the way it worked in the other game. It was kind of like gradual. It's like, okay, the wave started, they're all going to be sort of spawning around.
Yeah, the way I remember the way it would work in 3 is they'd always spawn in the opposite area to where you were.
Yeah.
So they were always out of sight, although obviously the exception was the Juggernauts, which were dropped in via helicopter. But the helicopter would always try, because obviously they were mini bosses, just because of the sheer amount of health they had. It was always a case of you could try to deal with the helicopter before they dropped them, and obviously you would see where they're being dropped.
Yeah.
But again, the game would still play the position. It does the drops cleverly. So it's not like it will drop it right on top of you, when it spawns the helicopter is when it decided where the landing spot would be.
But wasn't that always for the Juggernaut?
Yeah, that's what I said. With the Juggernauts, it was. That's what I said. The Juggernauts were the only ones you would know where they were going to spawn.
Yeah.
Because, as I was saying, the helicopters would come in. Now, yes, they would go to do the drop in a spot which was kind of not near where you were when the helicopter spawned. Because that's when the game would choose the spot it would drop the Juggernauts in. So you could technically then run, along with the helicopter to where it's going to do the drop.
Yeah. But yeah, the survival mode of Modern Warfare 1, when I did one match, and I already hated it. We got to wave 5 and died.
Yeah, well.
It just felt so bad. And not only that, you had to wait a year if you were on anything else to actually play it.
Yeah, because they made it a PS exclusive.
Yep.
And the point where that year timed out, what's coming out in 3 days' time? The next game.
Yep.
It was, and yet you were still expected to pay full price on Xbox and PC. Even though they were locked out of an entire game mode, and PS also had additional cosmetics and whatnot. And again, who's the one that's making the big fuss about Activision being bought? Saying that it would hurt their player base and whatnot because people choose to have PlayStations.
Yeah.
Well, in a decent amount of case, you're making yourself the monopoly by going, look, the games are the same price, but we get more content. You market manipulate. There is a difference to, people legit choosing your console and people choosing your console because it has more to, the game is offering more for the same money as other consoles and PC. And then there was the whole...
Being killed in the lobby.
I did say I was going to end the stream.
I know, but I was just saying I'm being killed in the lobby.
But yeah, then obviously, prior to that, but obviously that also meant a lot of people would then only get the PlayStation, because their friends had it. Obviously, now with crossplay actually being a much bigger deal, it's not as important.
Yeah.
Because it kind of rewrites. Because now you can literally get whichever of the consoles the game is out that you want, and just use the crossplay function. That is a much better system.
It is.
Anyway, yeah, like I say, I'm going to end the stream, so night everyone.
Ow.